Thank you very much, Mick, for receiving us.
Welcome.
And so you are Sales and Marketing Director at Europe in CRESSI, right?
Exactly.
For CRESSI brand. So can you tell us more about CRESSI?
Yes, I can. It's actually a good point. CRESSI is one of the top brands worldwide, and it's one of the oldest brands as well. 1946, this is when we were born, and it's still in the same hands because CRESSI is not a brand, it's actually a name. It's the family name of the company who started it, of the family who started it, and Mr. CRESSI is still in the company today, and we have still the joy of working together with a really family operation. What's also important is that we produce all our products in Genoa, in Italy, in Europe, where we have really direct control over quality, over sales and delivery. So it's really, let's say, one of the community-based brands in the diving industry today.
Great, great. And what are the most popular products or categories of product you have?
It's hard to say because we have over 7,000 products in our range, but our focus has always been scuba diving. It's the passion of the family, it's the passion of our community. So diving is our core, but we're very welcome. We have products from very little baby neoprene suits all the way up to men's dry suits and fins and regulators, computers, which we also make in Europe. So yeah, it's a very wide range.
Amazing. Yeah. Would you mind to give us a try and
Absolutely
talk a little bit?
I will definitely show you the latest products in 2025, which we show here at the boat show.
Great, great.
Let's start with the Origin fin. Now, the name Origin has a meaning. It's actually the first kind of these fins on the market. We made them already in 1950. But at that time, it was only made for the military, for the US UDT, the US demolition team.
Yes.
Exactly. And we didn't really think that it was something for a, let's say, recreational diver. Until in the recent years, the tech diver community also started to use those fins. So there we thought, let's just make a fin that's a bit more colorful and give them a more modern twist and an update. And now we have those Origin fins also in two different versions. There's an LD version and there's an HD version. The difference is that a diver who has a dry suit and a very heavy gear, he wants a negative fin, something that helps the dry suit to keep the buoyancy, while the wetsuit diver in warm water usually prefers a neutral buoyant fin, and that's the LD version. It's also a little bit softer and is really made for a normal recreational scuba diver.
In the shed fin intention.
Yeah.
Like strong power fin kick.
That product that you just mentioned was born in 1965. You can do those helicopter turns, those flutter kicks, and those backward finning only with a fin like this. Yes. So that's why a lot of recreation divers like those kind of fins as well nowadays.
Yeah, great.
And of course we have them all different kind of colors and sizes. And really one thing I'd like to point to my finger at is the angled straps. They make those straps sit above your heel cap, which is a much more convenient and comfortable way. And when you come back from a dive to the dive boat, for example, and you need to climb the ladder that possibly moves with the waves, it's very easy to use it just with two fingers, even with thick gloves. Easy to remove the fins. You can carry the fins while you climb up the ladder, and even if you fall backwards, you still have the fins in a very secure connection. These are little details, but they help us to really make sure the fin is usable and has a lot of benefit for the user.
Makes a difference.
As you can see, a large range of many different regulators, but you got to understand, here we're in Germany at the boat show. The water is cold in winter time. Even in summer, when you dive deeper, water is very cold. So we need some specific machines that can cope with the temperature. They are actually made to not freeze. Freeze is maybe for the area in warm water is maybe something they don't experience there. But here, if you dive in those cold waters, the spring can create ice around the metal material, and then the regulator would start to free flow. We need to avoid that. So these regulators we have here, also made in Italy in our factory, they have a dry sealed chamber which avoids any water, and when there's no water, there's no ice. But for the warm water diver, of course, we have also a complete range in different colors, different versions. Our latest one is the Zen. Zen stands for intuitive, no thinking, no effort, no work, and that's exactly what we do here. It's a simple regulator made for people who just want to dive. Just take it in your mouth and breathe and enjoy your dive. This is the Zen. Simplicity is key. We have, of course, a switch for dive and pre-dive, because if you have it as your octopus, you would like to avoid the free flow when you jump in the water. This can be controlled. You set this once, and your octopus would never free flow, while the primary second stage will give you this comfortable breathing and the zen feeling that you want when you buy a CRESSI regulator. The top of the regulator is a T10 Master PVD. Now, PVD is a coating we have on the first stage. Chrome plating is something that the industry does for a long time. But chrome is a little delicate. When it falls on the ground, when you use a regulator for many, many years, it's possible that some of the chrome cracks or chips off because of impact. Now, PVD is much stronger and much more durable. That means your regulator will stay in a beautiful condition and doesn't corrode or doesn't take any damage when you use it for a long time. It's a little more expensive, but over the time, it keeps it in a perfect condition.
And the lightest, it will be carbon?
Now, yeah, that would be carbon, but carbon is not a very good material because it doesn't insulate the temperature very well.
Okay.
That's a little technical, but let's just say that in the industry, carbon is not very often used for the actual body. The look of the carbon is beautiful, but that's not something we work with. Again, we stand for simplicity, we stand for ease of use, and for that we use polymers in different versions. That's simply the best, and it works perfectly.
Very beautiful mask. What can you tell us about
Thank you.
these products?
We think so too. You see, every mask that we have in our range comes in different colors. That's a bit of fashion, it's a bit of style. But in terms of the technology, I'd like to show you a bit what we included in our masks here. And you can only see it on the inside. What we have here is a fog reducer or fog stop system. What you can see here is a system that creates a barrier between the warm air in your nose pocket and the lenses of your mask. If we keep the warm air away from the cold lenses, the fog doesn't necessarily happen. So you can see this is a very soft material here. It doesn't annoy you in your mask. It creates a certain barrier, but of course you can still clear your mask. Also, what you need to see here are these heat rips. These also help to reduce the temperature difference and avoid the fogging. So you can enjoy your dives, you can see the whale shark, and you can really enjoy your dive with a perfect visual without the annoying fog.
A lot of technology in these masks.
It is, but it's there's a physics we need to beat. That is the fogging and the temperature difference. So we're working on all kind of technologies to make sure the diver has a perfect product. Of course, there's also a lot of soft silicone textures, with beautiful geometry that perfectly matches with many face shapes. But in the end, every mask is different because every face is different. So we have a large range of masks which any diver needs to try to find the perfect fit. That's why we have different models.
So, about BCDs, what can you tell us?
There's a lot of BCDs in the range, but let me just tell you one thing about a really good innovation that we developed. It's a one-size-fits-all BCD. Sounds amazing, and it is. So here we have a donut, a wing BCD that's keep your buoyancy on the back, allowing a perfect horizontal position. But normally you need to find the perfect size of BCD that fits you in order to be comfortable. But then you have a problem when you have a thicker suit. It's a little tight, and then you have just a t-shirt and it's a little loose. We've developed and patented the very first one-size-fits-all, and it can be adjusted by the harness. So you put the BCD on, and all you do is just tighten the strap in front of your belly, and then it adjusts the harness around your body, making a perfect fit. Regardless if you dive a dry suit, a wetsuit, or no suit, it adjusts perfectly to your body at that time of the scuba dive. Here we are at our range of wetsuits. Again, we have many different variations, but this is our model Comfort, and the name says it all. We use the stretchiest neoprene you can find. It's really something that moves with you and keeps your body warm and comfortable. In the areas where you wear your BCD, your weight belt, or you sit on the bench, we use X Diamond, which is the toughest neoprene cover you can use. So you still have the stretch and the comfort, but it's also a durable wetsuit, and it will last for many, many, many dives. That's important for divers because they don't want to buy a new wetsuit every year. But still, the comfort The design, the different colors we use is based on the consumer feedback. They really like those softness, the colors, but they want to keep the wetsuit in a good condition for a long time.
Great. And this, when it comes with pockets, is meant for freediving or spearfishing, or not necessary?
Put the fish in a pocket. No, that's not actually true. You know, we have those wing BCs, and there's less storage in the BCDs nowadays. That's why we need a pocket. A photographer can keep his lights in there.
Yes.
You can have your SMB, your spool, your reel, and the thigh is a very good position because it doesn't do anything during your dive, but it's always very easy accessible. You'll also notice that on the 7mm neoprene version, we use zippers, so you can slide in easier. It's a thicker neoprene, while on the 5mm, we use those ultra stretch connections, the ultra stretch ends, where you can slide through really conveniently.
Oh, this is the family of freediving.
You got this
equipment.
right, exactly. It's a little bit extra here because it's really a different kind of sport. It's freediving, but also, let's talk about spearfishing. Now, in freediving, CRESSI has always been one of the pioneers. We work with people like Jacques Mayol, Umberto Pellizzari, Guillaume Nery. We have a lot of expertise in that field. In fact, even 80 years ago, the whole activity was involving spearfishing. So, no matter that, no wonder why we have all these kind of freediving fins in our range. We have two kind of different foot pockets, and I want to show you that the short versions with the short horns or the short ribs, they're made for freedivers, which really like to have a efficient blade with this typical S shape and that flexibility in the beginning of the blade. While the spear fisherman, who often spends some time in the reef or in the rocks, stalking the fish, they would like to have the ribs that are a little longer, and in that case protect the blade. The fin are as flexible as the other ones, but they protect the ribs a bit more, being a bit more stiff in that area, providing a more durable product, lasts longer. And all our foot pockets, of course, are made with two different kind of materials. You have a stronger, stiffer rubber for your kick and your efficiency, but you also have a softer part here for the comfort around your foot, avoiding blisters or heavy rubbing on the skin.
These are modular, so you can change.
Of course, yeah.
You can change the blade.
Yeah, you can grow with your blades, basically. You can start with very short winter blades, but there's also a way to move your way all the way up into carbon blades. And the carbon fins are, of course, the most efficient ones. They're not the most expensive on the market. We're talking about €400 here for a pair of carbon fins, but they are just the most efficient because they're thin, they're lightweight, but they really provide the rebound to your kick and give you the best thrust.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And in terms of spearfishing, like I said, CRESSI has always been involved in spearfishing. Our athletes that work with us, they are so successful, they became, over the years, 12 times the world champion in spearfishing. We're quite proud of that, but it also is part of our product development because they help us to design the wetsuits. They tell us which is a good camouflage, what works well, what doesn't, so we know what kind of products we can develop for the rest of the market.
It's very interesting that a brand so popular and so big also can get to contact with the people and get the feedback, and that's also because it's family owned.
It's right. We're very strong connected to the market. We're part of the community, and we have even Mr. CRESSI who's in the water every week testing our products, enjoying the sea. And when he comes back to the office, he tells the engineers what works good and what's a good technology. So it's all about passion. If you don't have the passion, I don't think you can develop good products for the market.
Thank you very much, Mick.
Welcome.
It's been wonderful.
Enjoy.
Thank you.